Hey everybody, Dave Cook, D'Franco Painting. We're here in our shop. I'm actually working on some furniture, but while I'm waiting for the cleaner to dry, we sanded everything, so I got some denatured alcohol on there, waiting for that stuff to dry out. We actually had a question come in over this past week. We were doing estimates on does price equal quality? And I thought that'd be a great video. I don't know if I've ever actually addressed that question in that same manner. So I wrote a couple notes down, and then I got my key points. So the key points: the materials you used, the prep work, who's doing the work, speed, warranty, financing, who you're working with, help with colors, insured, and price cost. So those are the factors that top of mind that we look at as far as what affects the cost. So the biggest features, and again, I'm using notes, so a little cheat sheet so I don't forget stuff. Speed. So speed, there's a ton of stuff when it goes into speed. So how fast can you get someone to your house to get an estimate? How fast is that estimate coming to you? Do you have to wait a week? Do you have to keep calling the person? Are they showing up? Did they show up? And you not hear about them. I've come to estimates, or I've missed estimates because of medical or what. I have missed estimates. So, but we try and call, text, or email to try and do that. Am I perfect? No. I know I've missed some, but I really do my best to try and make sure I get a hold of somebody if I'm running late, or if I can't come, hey, when can we come back to fit your schedule? Anyway, so how fast do you get the estimate back after they've been at your house? And then the other part of speed is how long is that job going to take? So a job we're working on in St. Charles right now, it's not the whole house, but it's a big chunk of the house. And we're working in between some general contractors. We're doing some wallpaper, we're painting walls, we're painting trim, we're painting window frames, door frames, ceilings. And it is a mudroom, like a mudroom hallway area. It's pretty big. And then there's a laundry room, the bathroom that's in there, and then there's a living, dining room, kitchen, big area, ceilings that are in there, master bedroom, master bath, master suite hallway, daughter's bedroom, daughter's bathroom. So a lot of rooms, and we're painting. We're just doing walls, but we're doing all the trim, and all the trim and all the walls are dark. So not only do we have to just paint them a new color, we have to prime them with a primer because they're going white, and plus 3 coats of paint to get it to cover. So it's not just a quick pick it and stick it. It's actually quite time consuming for prepping everything. So how long will it take to do that? You know, our job mushroomed from going from 3 rooms to mud room, little small area to get done in 5 days, to now we're doing all these other rooms. So originally we figured 2 guys a week. Well, now those 2 guys are almost 2 weeks. So if it's one person, how long is that going to take them? Is that a month-long project for that one person? So how long will it take to get done one person versus a crew of people to come in there and get that work done? And then I said returning calls. You know, the one thing overall with painters, I think, from what I have seen anyway, industry standards are pretty close to being the same. On average, it takes about an hour to paint 100 square feet or a 10 by 10 wall. It takes an hour to be able to cut it in, roll it. Well, if you have 4 walls, that's 4 hours. Some people can do it quicker, bigger rollers, different types of things, but dry time, prep work, that's about standard. So now it's, okay, what are you paying for that hour? So now we get into, does price equal quality? Maybe not. I used to be a solo person on my own, and I was cheaper than some of the big guys. Did I do it wrong? No, I just didn't have any overhead. So it's just myself. I'm working on my van. I didn't have a shop. I didn't have a big staff, so it was easier for me to pivot, and that night I didn't have to charge as much money because it was just me. Warranty. So we've always done a warranty, but we really make sure we want to come back. We want that 5-star experience. So the person you're hiring, are they going to come back to do any kind of warranty work? We say lifetime warranty on anything that we do to that wall. It's not going to peel. Anything that we did, we're going to come back and make sure it's fixed right. And then we do the 1 year. We come back after 12 months and do free touch-ups for an hour. We use the same paint that's there, so it's not that big of a deal. But we give a warranty because we want some peace of mind that we're coming back. Financing. How are you paying for it? So we've gone from jobs that are on. Used to be our average job was about $300. Our average job now is about $8,000. So we have really grown in the size of projects that we can do, and we've grown in the types of projects we do. So I started off, I'm not doing exteriors because I'm actually afraid of heights. So I hate getting up on ladders, but there's guys that could care less. Exteriors are a lot more money as far as the materials take longer, prep work takes longer, weather takes into account how long something takes to get done. But there's not necessarily more skill, but it's just a lot more time consuming. When you have to get up and down, up and down, up and down ladders, or you have to have a lift, there's a ton of costs associated with that I never was willing to do before. So how are you paying for this? Cash is king, still is. Hopefully it will be for a long time. So paying cash is definitely the cheapest way to go. We don't have to worry about paying anything when we do cash or check. Credit cards. So if a credit card, there's always someone has to pay a financing fee for that. We roll it in. It's just because almost everyone wants points or whatever. We just assume everyone's going to pay by a credit card. So that's just the cost of us doing business. If you want to pay by cash, then it's cheaper. And then something we just started, hit some other paint contractors in other cities that are definitely bigger than us, and their push was financing. I never really wanted to do it, but in this past week, we've had several people in the process of me doing the application. We actually had people asking, hey, do you do financing? So now, yes, we do financing. I don't have all the details. We just got approved yesterday on how it goes, so it'll be in all the estimates. We'll do a separate video on how the financing for paint projects works. I know it's 0% if it's done in 3 months, I think it is. After that, I'm not 100% sure. So who you're working with is the person that's coming. We call them stands and vans, trucks and trucks, where it's just one person in their vehicle. They come, they do their work, they go home every day. You know who you're working with. You're working with that person direct at all times. You're gonna have a crew. So if there is a crew, who is that crew? Do you know who's coming? Have they been background checked? So is it only that person, or do you have a staff? Who's the staff that you're working with? Is there a project manager? Is there an office manager? Is there someone helping with that project, or is the only person that you're dealing with is that one person? It makes a big difference. It affects cost. So help with color design. That's something that we've been really good with because of the amount of paint that we buy. Sherwin-Williams gives us so many free color consults a month. Otherwise, we have 2 designers we work with, and we just pay for the cost because for us it's easier than trying to figure out what colors go with what. Peace of mind for you, the customer. I hate picking out colors. I'm awful at picking out colors. So I always want the help in doing that. And so if it's peace of mind for me, I know it's peace of mind for someone else. So we never want you to be stressed about what colors you're going to pick, what colors are going to go where. We want you to know what colors are going to work, so that way we give you the color design for free. Materials, there is a big array of materials that you can use, and it goes from top shelf to bargain. Stuff at Menards, believe it or not, some of the stuff at Menards and Home Depots and Lowe's, they're actually just byproducts of Sherwin-Williams, Benjamin Moore. Made in the same factory, it's just what grade of materials are there, or if it's been processed, it's processed differently. Sometimes it's just, like some water is the byproduct of Coca-Cola. Is it bad? I don't know, but it's been water that's been treated from Coca-Cola. Anyway, so top end, you got the high-end paints, the emeralds, the advances, they're top tier. You get in the middle, you have the durations, you have your, probably that Bear Marquee is probably in there, and then Regal Select is probably in that same category. And then the low end, which is basically contractor-grade paint. It works good. There's nothing really wrong with it. It's just a lower end paint. There's some byproducts in there that you won't see, microbial, how well it washes. There's different variations of that paint. We buy a lot of paint. We're not as big as Assert Pros, a national chain, but we still buy a lot of paint. We have enough and we buy enough that we're able to actually get Emerald, which is the top end of Sherwin-Williams. So we're able to get Emerald paint for the same price that some people would get Duration or Cashmere, which I would consider lower grade paint. So we just do the top, and the best part about that is that paint comes in every sheen. I hate dealing with sheen covers or questions. Flat, matte, low, velvet. There's all kinds of different color sheens you can get. Emerald Designer has all of them. So if you want matte, great. If you want flat, great. If you want semi-gloss, great. It comes in every sheen, so I don't have to worry about what paint we're getting, whereas we use Duration to add certain sheens. Super Paint has certain sheens. Regal has certain sheens. That is over. We do Emerald. It makes it easier for us, makes it better for you because you get a better product. Prep work, Overall, you would think everyone paint-wise for painting would do the same prep work, but they don't. So drop cloths, are they using painter's plastic on everything, or are they actually using drop cloths? And the drop cloths that are used, do they ever get washed? We do once a month, we take them. We have a service that's up in McHenry that washes all our drop cloths. It's kind of nice. They get around between the dust, animal hair, walking on them, they just get dirty. So we wanted to try and wash them. We just do once a month because it's kind of expensive, cheaper than buying new ones, but it adds up. And then what kind of air filtration? So if they're sanding, are they using a vacuum to suck up the dust? Is that vacuum have a HEPA filter, or are they just using a filter with a bucket in it and the dust goes everywhere in your house? It just happened to my house with electrician, so now it really is top of mind. A HEPA filter in the vacuum with a paper element filter, and the discharge has a filter on it also to make sure the dust is not going in your house. What kind of repairs are getting done? So if there's nail pops, older, even screws. So if there's pops from how the drywall is being adhered to the wall, are those screws getting cut out? Are they getting nailed back in? Is a screw getting put in its place to make sure that doesn't pop out again, or are they just hammer it in and then it's just gonna pop out again? The drywall cracks, the corner beads, if they've popped off, are they just taking mud and going right over it and it's coming back? Or are they taking screws and putting that corner bead back in to make it re-secured? I don't know. We go to the extra mile to make sure that stuff doesn't come back. We cannot warranty drywall cracks. Sorry, just can't. Houses move, houses settle, weather, snow, ice, it all affects drywall, especially corner beads. So I can't warranty them, but we do the required work to make sure you shouldn't see them come back, all things being equal. Sanding walls, we use Festool tools. Best tools are amazing. They had huge HEPA vacuums. They are amazing, amazing machines to almost eliminate dust. I can't say 100%, but a really good amount is. Are they moving furniture? We'll move furniture. Some stuff like pianos, we're not moving your pianos. Insurance pretty much prohibits us from moving like the large screen TVs on your walls. They just don't cover it. So some of that stuff we can't move. And then who's doing the work? I talked about solo crews. Are they full-time? Are they part-time? Are they subcontractors? So we use employees and we use subcontractors. Everyone has a different thing that they like doing. Anthony, and we have another guy that's a full-time, just hired him. So doing wallpaper, doing cabinets, because that's what's the most technical of what we do. So I want people that are artisans and technicians, craftsmen to do that work. Which means you're paying a little more money, but that's what I want. That's what I want to be able to give. Are these people background checks? Mark, who used to be with us, we were looking to hire a guy, something about him just didn't quite sit right. And as we're talking to him, he goes on the computer, types the guy's name in. As soon as he types the guy's name in, his face pops up where he's a registered sex offender. Well, I can't have him work for us because we are in home. We're in schools. We work by schools. We work in childcare. We work in churches. We work with people where if that's an issue, there's no way I can have someone go. So who's coming to your house? Do you know who's coming to your house? Have you typed their name into Google? It's amazing what you will find on Google when you type someone's name in. You can Google us, check us out. And then who's coming? So if it's a solo person, you know who's gonna be there. You know, we have 7 crews right now, so we want you to know who's coming. So aside from the background checks, we have a team page. So the day before, we're gonna send you that link out. So, hey, Daphne's gonna call you. Hey, so-and-so's coming. Here's the link and of our page. You can see exactly who it is and read a little bit about them. We're trying to get them to do videos, but they're not really too keen on doing the videos, but they'll do a quick bio so you have some basic information, have a picture to see who's coming to your house. Insured. Are they insured? You want to make sure they're insured and you are listed as additional insured. So they might have insurance Thursday, but come Friday and do your job. What if they canceled it? And they come to your house and they damage something. Well, if there's no insurance, guess who's paying for that? You. So you want to make sure they're insured to make sure that you're covered and you're not at liability. You can talk to your insurance agent about that too. Sometimes they have some coverages like an umbrella type thing that'll cover you just in case, but you want to make sure you're covered. And then the cost. Does price equal quality comes at cost? Well, all this stuff varies. All this stuff makes and accounts for the differences. The paint differences I talked about, there are differences in paint and they cost different, and every contractor has different rates of what they have to pay for that paint. So that does matter. the prep work, how much prep they're doing, the type of tools that they're using, all that affects, a Festool is not something you're buying at Walmart. It is an expensive tool. Sandpaper that we use for that is an expensive piece of sandpaper. The filters are very expensive filters, but it gives you a better experience. But that stuff costs a little bit more money for us to provide that type of service. Overhead right now, we have Daphne, who's my wife, but also our office manager, and she handles all the financing, kind of your first go-to after the estimate process is done. And we have a project manager. So our project manager is in charge of all the jobs as they're coming out. He walks the jobs with you. He's your frontline point of contact outside of the people doing the work. If there's an issue, that's who you're talking to. He comes, helps you. He walks, on the job first day, and then he's coming during the project, kind of letting you know where we're at, and then what we pay. So I know we don't pay the most, but we don't pay the least. The thing that kind of separates us from pretty much every paint contractor around, once you get to a higher, like D'Vinci Painting, no, they use subs. Actually, I don't know. That will pay painters actually pretty decent wage. So we try and keep it minimum 25 because everything costs money. But we want to make sure they have insurance. Everyone knows that's a hot topic right now in politics is insurance, who's paying for what, with a lot of scandals of who's paying for what. We want to make sure that these guys can actually take them and their families to go get insurance, go to the hospital, see a doctor. Dental insurance sucks, but we have what we have, and it's better than nothing. So we want to make sure that they're taken care of, so when they're here and they're not here, that if something happens to them, that they're not gonna get bankrupt because they have to go to the doctor. And then vacation time. Time off is important. Everyone wants their time off. So we want to make sure that we pay them enough that they can actually take the time off and have enough people to cover, so that way when people take vacation, we have enough people. So those are kind of the things. Does price equal quality? Not necessarily. We think we do a really good job. We're proud of our 250 plus reviews. I think we're 275 if you factor in Yelp and everywhere else that they're on. But Google's the bulk of them. Do we have some bad ones? Yeah, we do. We've made some mistakes. But we learn from the mistakes, we move on, and we do what we can to give you that 5-star experience. And at almost any cost, we want that 5-star experience for you. So for us, I hope that answers the question. Does price equal quality? To an extent. But single operators do a great job, and they can do a great job. But once you get into all things being equal, what are you paying for? So that was a quick video. I hope you guys got something out of it, and it's some value to you. If something like this is, leave the comments. If you have questions, definitely let us know, and we'll be talking to you guys soon with the next video. God bless. Subscribe, and then, as always, you can give us a call for estimates. If you see something that we can do better, let us know. We want to make sure we improve everything we do. You guys have a great day.